Hello friends, this is Smita here and this is our class on TDS, tax deducted at source, and that too in TallyPrime. How to enter the entries related to TDS in TallyPrime, this we will learn. Before that, we will have a brief discussion on TDS. So what is TDS? What is the full form of TDS that we will learn? TDS, that is TDS is tax deducted at source. So TDS stands for tax deducted at source. It is a type of direct tax. There are two types of taxes as we have learned in the earlier session: direct tax, indirect taxes. So TDS is a type of direct tax. It is a type of income tax reduced from the money at the time of making specified payments like commission, rent, brokerage, interest, etc. So it means whenever we make payment like commission, rent, brokerage, interest, in that time we reduce somewhat money in the sense there are some percentage, those are specified under different sections. That percentage of amount we deduct, and that deducted amount is known as a TDS. It is a deduction made by someone while making a payment or crediting the account, whichever is earlier. So it is a deduction made by someone. Someone means who is paying this rent or commission to the person, to other person. When it is deducted while making the payment, while paying that person, or while crediting the account, or entering the invoice, whichever is earlier. So with either the payment or invoicing, whichever the date of which is earlier is considered for deducting the payment. So in this TDS part, there are two parties, deductor and deductee. The person, deductor, or we can say other payer. Deductor or payer is liable to make payment who deducts certain percentage before paying it to the person, deductee or payee. It means the deductor or the payer is liable to make payment to whom? To deductee or to the payee, the person who will receive this money. Now, while paying this amount to the receiver, the payer or the deductor deducts certain percentage. So such deducted amount will be remitted to the income tax department, and this amount which is deducted is remitted to income tax department. The deductee issues a TDS certificate to deductee for such deduction, and whatever the amount is deducted for that deducted amount, a TDS certificate is issued. This certificate is issued by the payer or the deductor to the deductee, the person whose amounts gets deducted. Now, next part. It is the duty of the deductor or the payer to deduct the tax at the time of payment and deposit to the government. So it is very compulsory for the deductor to deduct the tax at the time of payment, and such deducted tax must be deposited to the government. Such deducted amount will be remitted to the income tax department. It means the deductor will pay this amount to the IT department, income tax department. Now, what about the deductee? The deductor issues the certificate to deductee for such deduction, and deductee can file for TDS refund. So, whatever the amounts get deducted, the deductee can get it refunded by the income tax department by filing TDS refund. There are different TDS rates; those are charged for different nature of payments. Like we can have the interest on securities, salary, then commission, brokerage, rent. All these are the different types of natures of payment, and for every nature of payment the TDS rate is decided. It is defined under different sections. If the deductee's PAN number is not available, means the person whose amounts get deducted, that person's PAN number is available, then TDS can be deducted as per the rates provided in different sections. And if the deductee has not provided PAN to the deductor, it is compulsory to deduct the TDS at prescribed rate or 20%, whichever is higher. So it is made compulsory by the government itself. Next, when to deduct the TDS? Time of deduction of tax. The deductor should deduct the TDS either at the time of crediting the account of the deductibles, entering the invoice in his Tally or any ERP system, or at the time of payment or paying to the deductee, whichever is earlier. Either the payment is earlier, means advance payment is being made. In that case, it is compulsory to deduct the TDS from that advance payment. Or if the invoice is generated before paying, then in that case, deductor should deduct the TDS on that day. Then issuing of TDS certificate. It is the duty of the deductor or the payee to issue TDS certificate to whom deduct or pay for the amount which is deducted. Filing TDS return and depositing TDS amount. TDS returns are filed by the deductor to the income tax department through TDS form. So it is compulsory for the deductor to deposit the money to the government, also file the return, means for whom we have deducted the amount in the last month, that is necessary to be informed to the income tax department through TDS forms. So TDS returns are filed by the deductor to the income tax department through TDS forms on 31st of next month after each quarter. So for the whole quarter, that is the first quarter starts from the month of April, May, June. So for these 3 months, the TDS return will be filed on 31st of July by the deductor. The TDS deducted in the previous month needs to be deposited in the income tax department on or before 7th of the next month. It means TDS return is filed to the government after each quarter, the next month of the quarter on the 31st of that day. But the amount needs to be deposited to the every month on 7th for the previous month. So suppose April is over, in the month of April, various amounts were deducted as a TDS amount. So whatever the amount deducted needs to be deposited to the government on 7th of May, before on or before 7th of May of that year. And whatever the TDS deducted from April, May, and June, for these 3 months, whatever the amount deducted, the TDS certificates needs to be provided to the deductees on from time to time, and TDS returns to be filed on the 31st of the next month after each quarter. Tax deducted at source in TallyPrime. So treatment of TDS using TallyPrime. Till this we had a brief discussion on TDS. Now how to use TDS in TallyPrime, that we will learn. So TallyPrime provides an easy to use and flexible interface for TDS working. It is very easy, user friendly and flexible interface. Just like GST, this is also very easy. It calculates TDS amount automatically. So whatever the TDS amounts comes, it comes automatically. TDS forms can also be prepared automatically by using TallyPrime. So whatever the forms we need to provide to the deductee can also be prepared through TallyPrime. It helps the user to check TDS report, TDS challan, and outstanding TDS statement. So how to treat TDS in TallyPrime? For that, first thing is you have to activate TDS in TallyPrime. So go to Gateway of Tally, press F11 for features, Enable the tax deducted at source TDS, yes, and now provide the required details on the screen. So let's start with this. This is our company, Alpha Suppliers Private Limited. Now we are on gateway of Tally. I will press F11, and here in the taxation part, enable TDS or tax deducted at source, enable this. Now it is asking for TAN number. TAN number in the sense registration TAN number is a it is a tax deduction and collection account number of our company. So I will just provide the details. It is alphanumeric 10-digit number. So you can provide the number. Suppose our company is in Maharashtra state. So this is my PAN number. Again, I will provide the same number over here. Then our company, our business is whether it is company or individual FGF. So our company is the company. Next, deductor branch. We will deduct the TDS from which division? From Mumbai division. Our company is in Mumbai. Set alter details of person responsible. You can provide details of the person who is looking after this TDS part. Just press yes and provide all the details, name, son of the someone's designation, his or her designation, and the personal details also, like mobile number, address, and all this thing. I'm just saving it as it is by pressing Control A. Rate and exemption details, keep them as it is. Ignore IT exemptions limit TDS. For TDS deduction, no. And activate TDS for stock item, no. We don't want to activate TDS for stock item at present. So just whatever the information regarding companies TDS deductors details needs to be provided, and press Control E. Now most important is we have to provide the PAN number of our company also. So how to provide PAN number to our company? Open F11, that is company features, and see to the right hand side it is asking for more details. So press Control I for more details. See, we have supplied GST number, we have supplied TDS details, but we have not provided our PAN number. So what is our PAN number? The PAN number will be, it is available in GST number. Just leave first two digit which are state code in GST number. Right from third to 10, third to 13 we will enter as PAN number. So it is a, just a minute. I will just copy paste this. This is our PAN number, and press Control A. So the first step is activating TDS and providing PAN number of the company. Next, we will have one example how to enter TDS transactions in TallyPrime. So there are different types of nature of payment. Those needs to have TDS to be deducted while paying the amount. So we will take 2-3 examples based on this TDS, and in each and every example I will explain the nature of payment, the section number, rate of TDS, everything in the particular example. So for example, the company has taken a loan from Bajaj Finance. So we have taken a loan from Bajaj Finance. The interest on loan is rupees 7,000 per month. Pass the voucher on 31st January 2023 for paying interest to Bajaj Finance Bank after deducting TDS. So what we have to do? Generally what we used to pass interest payment entry. How to pass interest payment? Generally we pass like this: interest on loan account debit to cash or bank account. So in this case, if without TDS we are entering the amount, then the entry will look like this, right? But while paying this 7,000, we must deduct the TDS amount, and then we will pay to the party, that is to the deductee. So instead of entering this entry through payment voucher, what we have to do, we have to pass journal voucher, and where we need to deduct the TDS and then we pay to the party. So the company has taken a loan from Bajaj Finance. So this is wrong one. The PAN of bank, this Bajaj Finance, I have to write as a Bajaj Finance. The PAN number is so and so. TDS details are under section 194A. The nature of payment, here we are paying the interest. So interest other than interest on securities is the nature of payment applicable for this transaction. The rate of TDS is 10% and payment in exceeds of rupees 5,000. If the payment is above 5,000, then we have to deduct the TDS at the rate of 10%. And it is also important whether the person, that is Bajaj Finance, is whether it is company, HUF, person, partner, partnership firm, whatever. So what kind of person is Bajaj Finance, this also needs to be selected. Well, the interest on other than interest on securities has 10% interest rate, 10% TDS rate, which is equal for all types of persons. So let's start solving this question. The step one, we will create the creditor, Bajaj Finance, and will provide the statutory details and PAN of that company. So it is Bajaj Finance, create ledger, Bajaj Finance, creditor it is, maintain bill by deal details, and is TDS deductible? Yes, TDS is deductible. Now deductee type. Bajaj Finance, whether Bajaj Finance is, see, the list of deductee type is on the right hand side. So check Bajaj Finance is whether artificial jurisdictional person, association of person, body of individual, company, non-resident, company resident, or individual, partnership firm, whatever. So if you don't know whether that person is what type of deductee, you can call that person and ask whether it is firm, partnership firm, or body of individual, whatever. So we know this Bajaj Finance is the company which is resident of India. So company resident, and deduct TDS in the same voucher. Whenever we'll pass the interest payable to the Bajaj Finance, we will enter the TDS in the same vouchers. We will deduct TDS in the same voucher. So yes, press yes and press continue. I have not given the details of the Bajaj Finance for GST details. Okay. Now this one is over. If you want to provide the PAN details of yes, PAN details needs to be provided. Just a minute. We have left this work up alter Bajaj Finance. Provide PAN number also, and the PAN number is available in our example ADFCB 8787K 8787 sorry 8787K. We don't know whether it means at present we don't have the GST number, so we will keep it as it is. So this is how we have created the ledger Bajaj Finance as a creditor by providing PAN details. Next, now we will create the nature of TDS payment. So create TDS nature of payment. Name of the nature will be interest other than interest on securities. And how to create? Go to gateway of Tally, create nature of payment. So create, in the statutory masters we have TDS nature of payment. Name of the payment will be interest other than interest on securities. The section is, see, we have provided all the details. The section is 194A, 194A. Payment code will be, remove first digit, rest of the things will be your payment code. So 94A will be the payment code. Remittance code we don't have. Value limit for a single bill is also not available. Now rate of individual, rate for individuals or HUF with PAN and without PAN. By default, without PAN it is 20%. If the Bajaj Finance has not provided PAN number, then we will deduct 20% as the TDS. But if the PAN number is provided and for and this person is of individual type, interest that TDS will be 10%, and rate for other deductive also 10%. So there is no difference of rate for individuals, HUF and other deductive types for this type of nature of payment. Okay, and the threshold limit is 5,000. See, payment in excess of, if the payment of interest goes beyond 5,000, it is compulsory to deduct the TDS. So 5,000 is the threshold limit. So we have created creditor, we have created TDS nature of payment. Now we will create the ledger interest loan on securities. Interest on loan, sorry, interest on loan we will create. So we will create the ledger, go to create ledger interest on loan. This will be our indirect expense. And now, is GST applicable? No. At For this example, we will not apply GST. We will take another example where we will add GST as well as we will deduct the TDS also. So here, select not applicable. Is TDS applicable? Yes, it is applicable. Now nature of payment we have already created. Select that nature, interest other than interest on securities. If you have not created, you can create from here by pressing create or pressing Alt C. So select the nature, include in accessible value by calculation for what, if there is no TDS available, so it is not applicable. So we have created the ledger also. Now the next one, we have to create one more ledger, TDS on interest. So this is the tax ledger. We will create TDS on interest. It is duties and taxes. It is TDS type of tax, and select the nature. We have already created interest other than interest on securities and press Ctrl A. So all four masters we have created. Now the next is pass entry for interest charge through journal voucher. Here we have to pass the entry. What will be the entry? Entry will be interest on loan to Bajaj Finance to TDS on interest, TDS on interest. So what, earlier we have passed this entry, right? Now we will pass interest on loan account debit 7,000 rupees. As we are not paying directly to the party, it is a JV, general voucher, and in general voucher we will credit to the party to Bajaj Finance. So there will not be any cash or bank to the credit side. We are entering the creditor's name, and how much we will pay, that we will decide here. 72 TDS on interest. Now what is the TDS rate? The TDS rate is 10%, and we have the PAN number of Bajaj Finance. It means 10% gets deducted as a TDS. So 7,000 into 10%. So what will be the TDS amount? 700. So TDS amount will be 700 and rest of the amount will be payable to Bajaj Finance as 6,300. So this will be our JV and this entry we will pass in journal voucher. So let's start entering the voucher. We are on the fifth step. So voucher and the date is 31st of Jan. It is journal voucher. So select the journal voucher 31st of Jan. Debit will go to interest on loan. Amount is 7,000. Be very careful. Press every enter key after reading the screen. Enter. Credit will go to Bajaj Finance. Press enter. See, here the amount comes automatically. It is very important that the amount should appear automatically. If it is not appearing, then there is something wrong which we have done. There is something wrong while creating different masters. See, the Bajaj Finance amount payable to Bajaj Finance is 6,300 and rest of the amount will go to interest, TDS on interest. Now, in the second screen, be careful to have proper reference. So it is new reference. Suppose this is the bill, or we can create the reference number for this journal JV. Interest 1. Suppose we are paying the first interest, so it is INT 1, and again this is INT 1. See, 7,000 is the interest on loan, but for Bajaj Finance we are paying 6,300. It means 7,000 credit, 700, that is 10% debit. So debit amount, so credit debit, it gives the effect of 6,300 as a credit. So just give the similar reference to both the parts, and then we'll go to TDS on interest. We'll select TDS on interest, being TDS interest payable and TDS deducted. See, we have deducted this TDS. Enter. All the amount should appear to be very automatically. Payment to creditor. Now use payment voucher for paying the creditor. So how much we will pay to the creditor? 6,300. So go to payment voucher. We have created different types of classes. Select the class, or you can have the regular payment entry. I am not selecting the voucher class. Payment on 31st 3, 31st 1, Bajaj Finance. How much we will pay? 6,300. Against reference, that INT 1 to Axis Bank. We will pay through Axis Bank. Provide the numbers, required numbers, details, etc. Paid to the party. Now, the next step is check TDS report. That is Form 26Q. How to check the TDS report? Go to Display More Reports, Statutory Reports. As we have two reports, that is GST and TDS report. It is showing statutory report, and in that we have GST and TDS report. So select TDS report, Form 26Q. Form 27Q is available for salaried people. Means it is the form which is provided by the employer to employees for deducting TDS from the salary, and rest of the other types of TDS natures, Form 26Q is used. So this is Form 26Q. I will just change the period from 1st of Jan to 31st of Jan. See, we have this deduction at normal rate. Means as we have the PAN of Bajaj Finance, we have deducted it as normal rate. If we have deducted at higher rate, that is, if PAN number was not available, then in that case, it will appear in this row. So deduction at normal rate 7,000. If we press enter, we can open the particular entry. So this is what the form 26Q is. Now we are on form 26Q. So we have checked the TDS report. Okay. Now through this form we will pay to the government. Means we need to pay, we need to enter the payment to government entry, that is 700 needs to be paid to the government, and this entry will be entered through this form. So now we are on form number 26Q. Here we have to press Alt S to pay to the government. So we will press Alt S. Now select the proper statutory details. So it is type of tax is TDS, period from which 1st of Jan to 31st of Jan, date is 31st of Jan. Okay. If your cursor doesn't move forward, it means your date is locked over here. What we have to do, we just will come out of this report and we will change the current date. See, this is, we are on gateway of tally, right? Gateway of tally is showing the current date as 2nd of October. Just press F2 and change the date to 31st 3 or 31st 1. So we will have this 31st 1 as a current date, and then now open the form 26Q, display more reports, statutory reports, TDS report 26Q, change the period 1st of Jan to 31st of Jan, and here we will press Alt S, select the TDS type as a tax from 1st of Jan to 31st of Jan, deducted till date 31st of Jan. See, your cursor must go down towards section number, and also it is important to have section number displayed in the list of section. Do not type over here, it should be there in the list. If it is not, means something went wrong. So select that particular section, select the nature of payment. This should also be available in the list. Now deductee status, deductee, whether the deductee is company, non-company. So it is all types of companies, and we will pay through which, either cash or bank. So we will pay through bank. Axis Bank is our bank. See, everything is automated in TallyPrime. We don't have to enter the transaction even. We have to select proper statutory details. The entry will get passed automatically. See, payment is on 31st Jan through Axis Bank. For what? TDS on interest 700. This is totally automated in TallyPrime. Just press Control A to accept or provide the bank details. So this is how we can pay to the government. I have shown the statutory details that we have entered and then payment entry also. The next is, now press Alt T from TDS payment entry for printing this TDS challan. So we have paid amount to government. Okay, and this amount paid to the government can be printed in the form of TDS certificate. So go to display more reports, daybook. So this is the payment to the government. Select that particular payment, that is 700 rupees payment, and here we will press Ctrl P and just press P for printing. So just a minute. Press Alt P, current, and then print. Alt P, current, preview. I will check first preview and then we can go for printing. So to check the preview of this challan TDS certificate, here is the preview. Just press zoom button. So TDS tax challan assessment year will be 23-24, challan number so and so. This is our TAN number, our company name, our company address, our company state. So these are the details of the deductor, that is ARC details. Now TDS type of payment is TDS payable by the taxpayer. Yes, we paid the TDS to the government, and income tax rupees 700. Other charges nothing, just 700 we have paid. The amount is in words. We paid on 31st Jan, and it is for, see, the type of payment code is 94A, that is interest other than interest on security. This is the code for which we have paid the tax to the government. So this certificate we will provide to Bajaj Finance, so that that company can submit this TDS form along with the IT returns, so to get TDS refund. Now reconcile the TDS challan by providing necessary details. So this is the TDS certificate, and how we have opened this through payment voucher to the government. Now, as we have paid money, we have entered the details of Axis Bank, whether it is paid through online payment or check or what. If we have entered the details, no problem. If you are not entered the details, we can reconcile this challan. How to reconcile the challan? Go to display more reports, statutory reports, TDS reports, and here the first option, challan reconciliation. So this is challan, and we need to reconcile, means we need to provide the necessary details. Those are empty at present. How to reconcile this? First, select the challan by pressing spacebar, and now reconcile by pressing Alt R. Alt R. Now it is showing, providing us the space for entering the details. So check number or DD number was, suppose the check number was this much. Check DD date was 31st Jan. BSR code, bank code, it is Axis. Challan number, I'm just entering the details. For example, challan date is 31st 1, and bank name was Axis Bank. Branch is Mumbai branch. Enter. Once we have provided all the details, this challan will get reconciled, and there will be other list of challans if there those are not reconciled. Now we have reconciled, there is no other challan to be reconciled. So this is how we can reconcile the challan. Now saving form 26Q. So how to save the form 26Q? Go to Gateway of Tally, open that 26Q form. So we are in Gateway of Tally, display more reports, statutory report, TDS report, and this is 26Q. Change the date from 1st of Jan to 31st of Jan. And now what we have to do? We have to press Alt B to save the form. So this is the form. See, it is showing interest other than interest on securities is amount which we were deducted is now paid. So total paid is 700. We can save this form by pressing Alt B, save return. So press Alt B. It will ask for confirmation. Do you want to save the return? Yes. And now to check the saved forms, what we have to select, return transaction book. Open this option. Here is the form. This is 26Q form. This is how we can save the 26Q form and can export the form. So how to export the form? Open the form which is saved. It is available in return transaction book. Okay, and open this here we will export. How to export? Press Alt E to export and send the data to export the same. So Alt E is the menu available. Press Alt E, E return, provide the details where we would like to save this file. So so it will be in the text form that can be uploaded to department. So suppose we are saving this to C drive, file name will be tally.txt, or you can change the name. Enter, it will be in the txt form, which can be read by the special app only. So press E and overwrite. Yes, I have already created the file. So tally.txt. So we have created this file on 5th of. This is the text document. We cannot read this document. It needs a special application, file validity utility. It is freely downloadable utility from NSDL website, so that we can convert this 26Q as it was shown in the TallyPrime. So this is how the TDS in TallyPrime works, and it is totally automated. It is very easy, user friendly, and flexible also. So go through the whole session, provide all the TDS details so that you can enter proper TDS entries with automated calculations. So we'll stop over here. Thank you for the day. Thank you.